Hi all, this is the badging video for our GE Monogram Pizza Oven here at MakeHaven. But first, let's start by rolling out some dough.
All right, now we're gonna shape a pizza. One thing to remind yourself is to take off any watches or sharp jewelry, and if you have long sleeves on, you're gonna want to take those off too. So on the bench, we've got AP, all-purpose, and we also have rice flour. Rice flour is used on the peel. It helps the dough glide off of the peel so it doesn't stick. So we only use rice flour on the peel, and you don't need much. Okay, just something like that. And you always want to do that before you start stretching the dough. Then, we got AP, and you can't really have too much. I'll be honest. You got your dough ball over here. You want to get a lot of flour on the top of that so your hand doesn't stick to it. And this is going to be the top of it. That's going to be the top. The part that's on the bottom, that's going to stay on the bottom. That's the bottom. Again, I'm trying to get all the tack off because I don't want it to stick. I'm just kind of gently patting it. When I use my bench knife, anytime I want to move the dough around, I can pick it up with this. This is a guiding hand. So we want to imagine our crust, let's see on the outside. We really don't want to touch that too much. And we want to use kinds of broad pieces of our body whenever we touch the dough. I've seen this, and probably it's fine, but it's just not my method. So I'm just kind of pressing on the middle. And you can see the dough is a little gassy right now because it's been sitting out a while. It's okay. It's not ideal, but it's okay. So at some point, it's not going to stretch anymore. So at this point, I have to pick it up. I can kind of flour my body. That's the bottom, remember. It's going to come up here. And I'm going to let gravity do a lot of the work for me. All I'm doing is stretching the very outside. I'm really not touching the middle. I want to let gravity do a lot of the work. So I'm just stretching the outside very slightly, just rotating it in a circle. Okay? The middle always ends up stretching itself. This is about where we need it. If we feel like it's thicker in one area, we can go back to that. But remember, we're only trying to get it this big. So we come from this area, when it's resting on our arm, just plop it down. And now you can kind of do a little micro adjustment, but more or less, it's ready to get dressed now.
So normally this oven is installed in a kitchen, but here we have it installed in this mobile housing so that we can roll it around. And we have it wired up here to get 208 volts. And we'll turn it on for you here before we show you us cooking a whole bunch of pizzas in it. So they have a whole bunch of different options you can pick from. They're just different temperatures and times. We just use the custom. And here you can click edit. It's very simple. You pick the dome temperature, which is the temperature of the coils up on the top. The highest is 1350. Then the stone temperature is the temperature of the hearth down there. And then this is the cook time. So if you want it to tell you how long something takes to cook, you can set that. And then these are reminders to rotate the food, check if it's done, and tell you when it's done. We just turned all those off because we want to just sort of be doing it all manually. You don't make and save custom profiles here. This is just a way to sort of run it in a custom way on that particular firing. Then you click preheat. You can separately control whether the dome is on or off. We'll just click that, and so you can see it starts to fire up. Since we don't actually want it running, we just went back home and it turned off. And when you're done using it, obviously you can just push off. And we're gonna show some footage from our pizza party today where we cooked about 20 pizzas, a Detroit style sheet pan pizza, some pitas, all kinds of things in here. The things you wanna know are we don't want anything wet on the hearth, on the stone. So if you wanna do something wet, just put that in a cast iron pan or a sheet tray or something like that. You also don't want anything splattering grease because it could get on those coils, which would start a fire. There's no door on this oven. It has an automatic fire gate if there's a big fire in there. If that fire gate is activated, we'll have to get a tech out here to reset it. So we definitely don't want to do that. If liquids, greases, stuff like that get on the hearth, it will be pretty hard to clean. It's obviously not easy to get in there. So please be sure to not do that. A few things that we found while using the oven are that the back gets significantly hotter than the front. So you do want to make sure to be rotating and checking. You can see a fair amount of char on there, and we found that the wooden peels kind of hold on to the flour, whether it's cornmeal or rice flour that you're using on the bottom of your pizzas, versus it all kind of slides off the metal peels. And when it slides off, it builds up on the hearth, which can lead to more smoking and burning on the bottom of your crust. So the wood ones might be better. They also slide more nicely off of the wooden peels. Another note is that this is a peel that the oven came with, and you can see these rivets sticking through. We're probably gonna grind those off just because those scrape on the bottom of the hearth, which isn't a very nice sound. You can see on the bottom of the peel that we have for the outdoor oven, we've ground those off so that they don't scratch the hearth. We spent a little time playing around with temperatures to try to get an even balance of cooking on the bottom and the top, and you'll see where we ended up. The hearth did a good job of keeping up its temperature, even having pizzas going in and out of it pretty quickly. But with different kinds of doughs and different things you might be cooking, you might want to play around with that. One of the main benefits of this oven over a more traditional pizza oven is that it heats up much more quickly, but it still does take about 30 minutes to get the hearth fully up to temperature. So it isn't quite just like a turn it on and start firing pizzas. It does take 20-30 minutes to get the hearth up to about 700 degrees. However, the dome temperature is much more nimble. So there's actually, as you might have seen, roasted fruit uses this dome switch. So sometimes you'll be at a high temperature and the top is already browned, but you want to keep cooking from the bottom. So you can just switch that off and it will cool down at the top pretty quickly. And that will let you keep cooking from the bottom. And then when you switch it back on, it can heat back up within, a few minutes, which is a nice feature. And then for browning on the top of things, if you crank the top temperature just by clicking edit and increasing it here, it will brown pretty nicely on the top pretty fast.
All right, so now we're here at the pizza dressing table. We got all of our toppings prepped and ready to go. We're going to do a relatively simple pizza today. So we got our red sauce here. There's many styles to do a red sauce. This is just San Marzanos that we've immersion blend with a little Tabasco, some herbs, some garlic, some basil. We don't cook it. I kind of like the acidity, but you can cook your sauce. Makes it a bit thicker. You can add really anything. People add sugar. People add all kinds of spices. I like it simple and acidic, so I don't cook it at all. For your cheese, the base, the kind of staple is this shredded mozzarella. This is a block of fresh but low moisture mozzarella, so it's still sticky. It's not like the stuff that's pre-shredded that's very, very dry, but it melts really nicely. It's a nice base layer. There's always a temptation to go too heavy on toppings. You'll get a kind of a soggy, saggy pizza. You don't taste the crust anymore. We're going to add a couple of fresh balls here. These are just a little higher moisture, so you don't want to add quite as much. Again, as they melt, they'll release more water. And as we're cooking here, we're going to just check we have one pizza in the oven. We're going to make sure that's not burning right now. I'm going to rotate this pizza. You can see it's not a perfectly even oven, so the back is hotter. So we're giving it a 180 just to even out. Okay, back at the dressing table. What else do we want on here? Let's throw a couple eggplants on here. But we'll stay judicious. It's always at this stage easy to add too much. Maybe we'll do a few mushrooms and call it.
In general, with a pizza, it's only in the oven for a couple minutes. So you want everything to be more or less at the stage you're in. All right, so when you're putting the pizza in, again, we're making sure that it still has a little bit of slop in it. And we're basically gonna just rock it or slide it off. Once the edge has touched the stone, then you start to just inch the peel out. So we'll get it to where we want it, and then just pull it out. You don't want to get crazy and yank it out quickly. You don't want the toppings to fly off, and you don't want it to scrunch. So once the back lip has caught, then you're basically just removing the peel. Sometimes you need to help it along. It has two temperatures. The top is your dome temperature, so it has these electric coils on top. And then the bottom is your hearth temperature, which is heating the thermal mass, the stone. And always with pizza, you're trying to balance the speed at which the bottom is setting and the top is browning. So you want to get nice leoparding of your crust. You want your toppings to have a nice char, but you don't want anything to burn or blacken too much at the same speed that your bottom is setting up. So if the bottom doesn't have enough time and it's totally white on bottom, there's no color, it'll be floppy, it won't rise, it won't have the spring. So you're always playing with the ratio of these two temperatures, trying to get them to go at the same pace. We're also figuring out that even though this is a pretty fancy machine, it still has a pretty big temperature differential between front and back. Probably true of almost every pizza oven, but especially the smaller the oven, the less even the heat. This doesn't have much convective heat in it either, so there's not that much circulation of temperature. It's mostly radiant heat from the top and the conducting heat through the stone. So there's not as much movement of temperature. It looks like it's raw, but we'll see that the back already has lots of color. So we give it one spin, maybe two spins. So that leoparding there on the edge where you get those spots, that's a really nice degree of heat, but it's already reaching its maximum on that side. And you can always check your bottom by just kind of giving it a little tilt. It's getting nice color. So the ratio is pretty good for this pizza. Baking at maybe 4 minutes. All right, so this is fully cooked here. And you can see the edge got a nice browning all around. That's even kind of reaching our limit, but tasty. And the bottom has nice color, which means once it cools, it'll set up. So when you hold the slice, it doesn't go fully limp. It has a little bit of rigidity to it. Josh is going to load up the next pie, just like that last one. That one's a bit bigger because of a larger peel.
When you're done, in terms of cleanup, there is this brass bristle brush here, which you can use. Hopefully you don't have anything too big to scrape off because you've done a good job of not getting cheese or other things on there. You can just use the brush. And then once you're done, a vacuum is probably the way to go to get in there and clean everything out. Hopefully this is obvious, but you only want to vacuum it out once it's cooled down, which takes about an hour. Otherwise you'll melt the bristles of the brush and that'll be a real bad situation. Then down here, we have the trays that you can use for your doughs. After you've weighed and shaped your doughs and they're resting before being formed into pizzas, they'll be in here, and those trays live here. Then we have various peels, the brushes, the boards, and whatnot that live underneath. You can use these either for this indoor pizza oven or for the outdoor one. And when you're done, just turn it off, make sure it's nice and clean for the next person. So we'll wipe this down a little more, and then you're good to go. Enjoy making pizza.